We are living in a time unlike any before. Machines can now write essays, compose music, generate paintings, edit videos, and even hold conversations that feel human. Artificial intelligence is no longer hidden behind screens or locked inside research labs. It has quietly entered our homes, our phones, our workspaces, and our creative lives. This sudden rise of AI forces us to ask an uncomfortable question. Are humans still special, or have we reached the point where machines are beginning to replace the very thing that once defined us, creativity? At first glance, it feels like creativity itself is under threat. AI can generate stories in seconds. It can produce music in any style. It can create images that look like they came from real artists. For many people, this feels like the end of human originality. But to understand what is really happening, we need to slow down. We need to question what creativity actually is. Human creativity has never been pure invention. No idea is born in isolation. Every story we tell, every song we sing, every film we create is influenced by something that already existed. Writers borrow emotions from real life. Musicians borrow sounds from the world around them. Filmmakers borrow experiences, memories, and observations from society. In fact, one of the most uncomfortable truths about creativity is this: nothing is truly original. Every creative act is a rearrangement, a recombination, a reinterpretation of existing ideas. This does not make creativity weak. It makes it human. AI works in a similar way. It learns from existing data. It studies patterns. It predicts what comes next based on what already exists. So if both humans and AI create by recombining existing material, what separates us? The answer lies not in what is created, but in why it is created. Humans create because they experience life. They experience love, fear, regret, hope, loss, ambition, and doubt. These emotions shape how ideas are formed and expressed. AI does not experience life. It does not feel loss. It does not fear failure. It does not understand success. It only calculates probability. This difference is subtle, but it is everything. A human does not write a story because the data suggests it will perform well. A human writes because something inside them needs to be expressed. This is why human creativity is imperfect, and that imperfection is its strength. Humans contradict themselves. They change opinions. They make emotional decisions. They break patterns instead of following them. AI, on the other hand, thrives on consistency. It avoids contradiction. It optimizes instead of questioning. This leads to a dangerous illusion. When people see AI producing art, music, or writing, they assume intelligence is replacing imagination. But what is actually happening is replication at scale. AI does not understand meaning. It understands structure, and structure alone has never created art. Throughout history, every major creative shift has caused fear. When photography emerged, painters feared extinction. When cinema arrived, theater felt threatened. When digital tools replaced analog, artists feared authenticity was lost. But creativity did not disappear. It evolved. The same pattern is repeating now. AI is not erasing creativity. It is exposing something uncomfortable about it. That much of what we consume is already formulaic, predictable, designed for comfort rather than depth. AI does not create this problem. It reveals it. This is why the real question is not, can AI replace humans? The real question is, how much of what we call creativity was already mechanical? This question becomes even more powerful when we look at industries built on repetition, formulas, and mass consumption, and cinema has always been a mirror of society. It reflects what people desire, fear, and consume repeatedly. Over time, this mirror has become increasingly polished, predictable, and optimized. Hollywood, in particular, has mastered the art of repetition disguised as innovation. Every year, hundreds of films are released, yet only a few feel truly different. Most follow familiar patterns: a recognizable hero, a clear conflict, emotional highs placed at calculated intervals, and an ending that feels safe. This is not accidental. It is the result of decades of data testing and audience behavior analysis. This environment is where artificial intelligence feels almost natural. Cinema at an industrial level is not powered by creativity alone. It is powered by risk management. Studios invest millions of dollars into projects, and uncertainty is the enemy of profit. The safer a formula, the more attractive it becomes. Over time, storytelling structures became standardized, not because they are artistically superior, but because they are financially reliable. AI thrives in such systems. When stories rely on patterns, machines excel. AI can analyze thousands of scripts, identify what keeps audiences engaged, and predict which plot structures are most likely to succeed. It can suggest pacing, dialogue length, emotional beats, and even character archetypes. What once required large teams of analysts can now be done algorithmically. This is why franchise-driven cinema adapts so easily to AI assistance. When narratives are built around repetition, machines do not disrupt creativity. They accelerate production. But cinema did not begin this way. Film was once experimental, uncertain, and deeply personal. Early filmmakers were not optimizing engagement, they were discovering language. Over time, as audiences grew and budgets increased, cinema shifted from exploration to expectation. The more predictable audience taste became, the more mechanical storytelling turned into an advantage. This is where a critical divide appears. There are two kinds of cinema operating simultaneously. One is built on scale formulas and consistency. The other is built on vision. Risk and perspective AI strengthens the first category. Large studios benefit when creativity becomes measurable. Algorithms contest trailers, analyze audience reactions, and even forecast box office performance before a film is released. Scripts can be evaluated for commercial viability before a camera rolls. This reduces uncertainty, but it also narrows the space for experimentation. When machines guide decision-making, deviation becomes dangerous. Independent filmmakers exist on the opposite side of this system. Their work does not begin with market prediction. It begins with something personal. An idea, a question, an observation about the world. These films are not optimized for mass comfort. They are designed to express something specific, even if it makes audiences uncomfortable. This is where AI reaches its limits. Machines can imitate structure, but they struggle with intention. They can reproduce style, but not perspective. They can predict reaction, but not meaning cinema that challenges, provokes, or unsettles does not follow clean data patterns. It emerges from contradiction and uncertainty. Two things machines are designed to eliminate. This explains why AI feels threatening in one part of the industry and irrelevant in another. In formula-driven cinema, AI is an asset. In vision-driven cinema, AI is a tool. The danger is not that AI will destroy creativity. The danger is that industries already addicted to safety will use AI to eliminate risk entirely. When creativity becomes optimized, it loses its edge. Cinema becomes content. Stories become products, and expression becomes performance metrics. But this is not the end of cinema. It is a separation. Those who rely on machines to repeat success will continue producing familiarity. Those who use machines to remove technical barriers will continue exploring ideas. AI does not decide which path wins. Humans do, and this distinction becomes even clearer. We look beyond storytelling itself into how creative work is actually produced behind the scenes. Because AI is not just changing what we watch, it is changing how creation happens. And that brings us to the creative process itself. While audiences focus on the final film, song, or artwork, the real transformation is happening behind the scenes. The creative process itself is being reshaped, not replaced, but restructured. Traditionally, creativity required time, teams, and resources. Writing a script took months. Editing a film required long hours of manual labor. Concept art demanded repeated drafts. Music composition involved experimentation that could take weeks before a single piece emerged. These limitations did not exist because artists wanted them. They existed because tools were limited. AI is changing that foundation. Today, many creative steps can be accelerated. Editors use intelligent systems to organize footage, detect usable takes, synchronize audio, and balance color. What once demanded technical focus now happens in the background. This shift allows creators to spend less time fixing more time making decisions. The same applies to music. AI can generate melodies, harmonies, and rhythm structures instantly. These outputs are not final art. They are raw material. A composer no longer starts from silence. They start from possibility. The human role shifts from generation to interpretation, selection, and emotional shaping. Visual creation has undergone a similar change. Concept artists can now explore environments, lighting conditions, and design variations at incredible speed. Instead of committing early to a single idea, creators can test multiple directions without exhausting resources. This does not replace imagination. It expands it. The most important effect of this shift is not speed. It is access. Independent creators no longer need massive budgets to experiment. Tools once limited to major studios are now available to individuals. A filmmaker working alone can visualize scenes, refine pacing, test sound design, and iterate concepts without waiting for large teams. This fundamentally changes who gets to create. This accessibility comes with a subtle risk. When tools become powerful, temptation grows to let them decide, to accept the first result, to trust optimization instead of intuition. This is where creativity can quietly weaken. Not because AI is strong, but because humans stop questioning. True creativity begins after the first result. AI gives options, humans give judgment. Machines can generate 10 versions of a scene. Humans decide which one matters. Machines can suggest what works statistically. Humans decide what feels honest. This distinction separates artists from operators. Another transformation lies in iteration. Creativity was once slow because failure was expensive. Now failure is cheap. Creators can test, discard, refine, and rebuild rapidly. This encourages experimentation and risk if the human chooses to use it that way. But if creativity is reduced to efficiency alone, something is lost. Art does not exist to be optimized. It exists to communicate. AI does not understand context. It does not understand subtext. It does not understand silence, a pause in dialogue, an unresolved ending, an uncomfortable moment. These choices do not come from data. They come from perspective. This is why AI is powerful but incomplete. It supports craft, not meaning out. It accelerates execution, not intention. The creative process is no longer about effort alone. It is about direction, and direction requires a human mind. As AI continues to evolve, creators face a choice. They can let machines define the process, or they can use machines to remove limits while protecting their voice. The future of creativity will not belong to those who generate content. It will belong to those who make deliberate choices. Because when everything becomes possible, meaning becomes the rarest resource, and meaning has never come from machines. It comes from humans deciding what deserves to exist. This brings us to the systems surrounding creativity, industries, corporations, and structures that decide which ideas are amplified and which are ignored. That is where the real power struggle begins. As creativity changes, the system surrounding it change as well. Art does not exist in isolation. It exists inside industries, platforms, corporations, and economic structures. And these systems are where artificial intelligence is becoming most powerful. AI is not only a creative tool, it is a decision-making tool in modern industries, especially entertainment and media. Decisions are increasingly driven by data, what people watch, where they stop, what they replay, and what they ignore. All of it is measured. AI processes this information faster and more accurately than any human team ever could. This changes how content is approved before it even exists. Scripts are analyzed before production. Ideas are evaluated for performance potential. Stories are adjusted to reduce risk. What once depended on intuition now depends on prediction. This creates a new kind of control. Subtle, invisible, and efficient when machines begin to guide decisions. Creativity shifts from exploration to optimization. The goal is no longer to express something meaningful, but to minimize uncertainty. The safest ideas rise to the top, while uncomfortable or unconventional ones struggle to survive. This is not censorship, it is filtration, and filtration shapes culture more quietly than restriction ever could. Large corporations benefit the most from this system. With access to massive data sets and advanced AI tools, they can predict trends, test concepts, and refine products before audiences ever see them. Marketing strategies are calculated. Release timings are optimized. Visual styles are standardized. Everything becomes measurable, but meaning is not measurable. Independent creators operate differently. They do not begin with prediction. They begin with curiosity. Their work is not designed to satisfy algorithms. It is designed to say something specific for them. AI can either become a constraint or a weapon, depending on how it is used. When used for control, AI narrows expression. When used for exploration, AI expands it. This is the dividing line. The same technology that standardizes content at scale can also empower individuals to bypass traditional gatekeepers. A single creator can now research, design, edit, and distribute work independently. Barriers fall, but new pressures emerge. Because when systems reward performance over depth, creators face a choice: chase visibility or protect intention. AI does not make this choice, humans do. Another consequence of data-driven systems is acceleration. Trends rise faster, content cycles shorten. What was relevant yesterday becomes obsolete tomorrow. This creates pressure to produce constantly, not thoughtfully. In such an environment, silence becomes risky. Slowness becomes a disadvantage. Reflection becomes expensive. But creativity has never thrived under speed alone. Some of the most impactful ideas in history required time, uncertainty, and doubt. AI removes doubt by design. It seeks confidence, probability, and optimization that makes it powerful and dangerous, because when doubt disappears, questioning disappears with it, and without questioning, creativity turns into output. The future will not be decided by technology alone, it will be decided by values. Will systems reward safety or curiosity? Will platforms promote volume or meaning? Will creators follow prediction or intuition? AI amplifies whatever structure it is placed inside. If the structure values control, AI strengthens control. If the structure values exploration, AI strengthens exploration. This is why the conversation about AI is not really about machines. It is about who controls direction. As these systems grow more influential, the impact spreads beyond industries into homes, offices, education, and everyday. Because the logic of optimization does not stop at creativity. It moves into life itself, and that is where the final and most important question emerges. The influence of artificial intelligence does not end with cinemas, art, or industry. It quietly extends into everyday life, shaping how people think, decide, work, and interact. What begins as a tool for efficiency slowly becomes a framework for living. In homes, AI manages routines almost invisibly. It suggests what to watch, what to buy, when to wake up, where to go, and how to organize time. Smart systems adjust lighting, temperature, and schedules without asking questions. Life becomes smoother, faster, and more automated. Convenience feels harmless, but convenience also shapes behavior. When decisions are made for us repeatedly, we stop noticing how often we are no longer choosing in offices. AI has transformed the nature of work. Meetings are scheduled automatically. Emails are summarized, reports are generated. Performance is tracked, productivity is measured continuously. These systems promise efficiency, but they also redefine value. Work slowly shifts from creativity to compliance, from thinking to responding, from exploration to execution. Employees are not replaced immediately. They are optimized. Education follows a similar path. AI-powered platforms personalize learning, analyze progress, and adapt content in real time on the surface. This seems ideal. Students receive tailored instruction. Teachers save time. Outcomes improve. But education is not just information transfer, it is formation. Critical thinking, curiosity, doubt, and questioning cannot be automated. When learning becomes optimized, it risks becoming narrow. Knowledge increases, but understanding may not across departments. Healthcare administration, marketing, logistics, finance. Design AI performs the same function. It removes friction. It accelerates processes. It reduces error. But it also introduces a quiet dependency. The more decisions machines handle, the less practiced humans become at making them. This is the deeper transformation few discuss. AI does not simply change tasks. It changes habits. It changes expectations. It changes how people relate to uncertainty. Humans are naturally uncertain beings. We hesitate, doubt, reflect, and reconsider. AI does none of these things. It moves forward based on probability. Over time, systems built on certainty begin to treat uncertainty as inefficiency, but uncertainty is where growth happens. The same applies to creativity and culture. When algorithms decide what is visible, what trends, and what survives, culture narrows quietly, not through force, but through preference shaping. What is shown repeatedly becomes normal. What is optimized becomes dominant. What is slow, complex, or uncomfortable becomes rare. This is not a future problem, it is already happening. Yet this is not a story of collapse, it is a story of responsibility. AI does not have values. It reflects the values of those who design and deploy it. The future will not be decided by how advanced AI becomes, but by how intentionally humans use it. Tools amplify intention. They do not replace it. The danger is not that AI will think for us. The danger is that we will stop thinking for ourselves. But there is another path. AI can remove unnecessary labor, it can free time, it can expand access, it can empower individuals who are once excluded. Independent creators can work without permission. Small teams can compete with large systems. Individuals can explore ideas without waiting for approval when used consciously. AI becomes a partner, not a master. The future belongs to those who understand this distinction. Those who question instead of accept. Those who slow down when everything demands speed. Those who choose meaning over metrics. Machines can calculate outcomes. Humans decide direction. Machines can generate options. Humans decide purpose, and purpose is the one thing that cannot be automated. So the real question is not whether AI will change the world. It already has. The real question is whether humans will remain awake inside it, because creativity, judgment, ethics, and imagination were never technical problems. They were human responsibility. And as long as humans continue to question, interpret, and choose deliberately, AI will remain what it was always meant to be: a tool, not a replacement.